What's up, Mama Boss? Welcome back to the Mompreneur Mastermind Show. I'm Stephanie Gass, success strategist and passive income queen creator. If you're ready to step into your God-led potential, create profit from your passions, and capture the success that is already yours, this podcast was made for you. As always, you can find out more and connect with me over at stephaniegass.com. So grab that cup of coffee or fill up that glass of wine and let's dig into today's show. What's up, girlfriend? Welcome back to another episode of the Mompreneur Mastermind Show. This is episode 26. We're going to be talking with Robyn today from Robyn Graham Photography, and she is going to explain how we can use storytelling through photography to enhance our brands. It is going to be so good. But before we get into our episode today, I first want to read a review. This review is left over on iTunes by Little Manny. Little Manny says, I've never listened to podcasts before and was lucky enough to start with yours. It is so empowering, motivating, and just plain amazing. My drive to work is just not as awesome in between episodes. I love your positivity and your love for God, and it definitely drives and motivates me to be better each and every day. Thank you so much for all that you do. Well, thank you, Little Manny. I'm so excited that you love the show. And you guys, if you haven't taken 30 seconds, a minute for me and left a review yet, but you are loving the show, that can be the thank you. That's the only thank you I need is a review from you. And who knows, yours might be read next live on the air. And next up, this episode is brought to you by Passionately Profitable, 6 weeks to turn your passions into your profits. You guys, this group coaching session is about to kick off in a few short weeks. If you have been wondering, what is my true calling? How can I profit from the things that I love? What are my God-led passions? You're full of fear, you aren't sure of next steps. Maybe you have money mindset stuff going on. You don't know how to beat the overwhelm or to plan out the goals that need to take place, or you have no idea how to monetize a business at all. This course is for you. I'm going to be working with a few select women to revamp their brand, beat all those mind blocks that we have, that we face, come up with an idea and a roadmap and a plan to begin monetizing what you were truly destined for. Join me, join us. We want you there. And these 6 weeks will be the most transformational in your life and your business. Head over to passionatelyprofitable.gr8, the number 8.com, and get registered today. Hey, lady bosses. I am so excited about today's guest. I have Robyn Graham with me today, who I feel like is just already a great friend of mine. We've been connected on social media for a while. She is incredible, and she is from Robyn Graham Photography. Robyn lives near Philadelphia, and she is, wait for it, a brandographer. Specifically, this is a photographer specializing in personal branding, visual storytelling, and professional headshots. Her passion is working with women and watching their confidence grow in front of the camera. Robyn also co-hosts a podcast called Four Chicks Chatting, which has Kathy Marcino, Kristen Smedley, and Mary Fran Bontempo with her. And they have this awesome motto, which is engage, excite, and empower. So excited about our guest today. I know we are going to learn so much. So, hey, Robyn, welcome to the show.
Hey, Stephanie. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Oh my gosh. Well, we are thrilled to have you. I am so excited about this show. It's just a topic I think that we don't talk about enough, and it's so important. And I think everyone's going to learn just endless amounts of knowledge today from you. So thank you for being on.
Well, thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, my first question for you is if you can kind of share with us how you became so passionate about what you do. I mean, how did you become a brandographer?
So it's kind of a funny story. I went to school to become a pharmacist, graduated with a doctorate degree because I thought I wanted this high power career, and I didn't want to be an artist like my mom, and I just wanted to do something strong, right? So once we moved to the Philadelphia area, my husband was traveling globally, working a lot. We had no family here because my family's from the Midwest and his is from the Pacific Northwest. And we were cruising along and I was doing medical writing and consulting and he was traveling internationally. I was having to travel here and there. And even though I was only working part-time, it was crazy without having any family support. And after several years of this with 3 kids, our daughter was very young at the time, our nanny got sick and we were starting to see the dynamics in the family change a little bit. And my husband said, you know what, Robyn, you love photography. You've been doing it your whole life. Why don't you do something with it? Mm-hmm. So I started a blog. Okay, I'll share my pictures. I was terrified to put myself out there in that way, but I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. So I did it. I started a blog and within 6 weeks, I had my first paying customer. Her name is Lori Rosalowski. She's a musician and actor. And she hired me and I went to her home to see like where she created her music and everything. And she had a big black baby grand piano. And I said, oh my gosh, Lori, we have to have you in a long black dress, toenails painted. She goes, I never get my toenails painted. I don't ever get pedicures. And I said, you have to for this. And my mind just went on and on and on with creative ideas of how we could showcase her and her talent. And we had her on her baby grand piano, sitting on top with her red toenails on the keys of the piano. And then, of course, did a ton of different poses on the piano and stuff. But that just set the course for me. I thought, I love this. I loved creating with her and giving her visual content to use for her website, her CD covers, all of her social media and stuff like that. So that really set my course because even though photography as a whole was a passion, working with her just really lit a fire in me. And I thought, if I can get women to come out of their shell and really showcase who they are in business and merge their personality with their business, it would be amazing. And that was it. That was 8 years ago. And, that's what I have really loved to do.
That is amazing. Don't you feel like I love that story so much because I think once you recognize, oh, I like this one thing, it's photography, and oh, I'm going to go do this one photo shoot, and then, oh, I'm going to do this. It's almost like the doors, once you get in line with your God-led calling and where you're truly aligned with your passion in your heart, don't you feel like each little door will open and continue to show you your path? Like you didn't know, oh, there's this thing called a brandographer and I'm going to do that. You just said, I'm going to go and start taking pictures and see what happens.
Oh, exactly. And to be perfectly honest, Stephanie, this has been a huge learning curve for me because, I did that shoot and I knew I loved it, but it did take me a while to really hone in on my niche and really become the person and photographer I am today because, I thought, oh, well, I have to take every job that comes my way and I'm going to be a family photographer first. And it really took me a while. And I do still love family photography, doing family portraits. And I have a handful of clients that every year I work with and I would never turn them away because they have been, my support system and everything. And I love them. But this being able to work with women and help them build their confidence and step into that moment of vulnerability, there's just something unique about that. So despite the fact that it took me a long time to really just focus in and market myself as that, and it's really been just this year that I changed my entire brand and my focus. And I'm seeing how it's helping me transition my business as well.
Well, you have a gift. So I'm glad that you got in line with that gift because it just really, really shows. Go, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I know you talk a little bit about something called the brand equation, and that's a big piece of who you are. Can you explain that to us? What is it? And how did you come up with this?
Well, of course, I do a lot of reading and stuff like that, but there's this book called Impressions. And when I was reading this book, the author talks about how your visions really become your personal brand and your values. And I took that equation or that his terminology, I guess, just a couple steps further, because for me, And I have a lot of people that come to me when I'm doing headshots for, say, women in corporate or men in corporate. And they say to me, how did you get to be doing this when you have the pharmacy background? And you're so lucky you got to follow your passion. And so many people say to me, I wish I could do that. I wish I could find a passion. I explain to them, if you take a look at what your values are, what your visions are, and what your passions are, those three things in combination will equal your personal brand, because they will help you define, obviously where your values lie, what's really important to you, where do you see yourself, and how do you see yourself serving, and what population or what group or entity do you see yourself serving? And then your passions, like what really fuels your soul, what excites you. And when you take a look at those three things, you can find a lot out about yourself, which will then lead you to that path of where you could really have a successful, fulfilling career or business.
I think that's so key. And I love those three things: values, vision, and passion. Because if you have one thing, you have your passion locked down, but it's not in line with your vision or your values, or you've got, I'm making all the money, but it's not fueling my soul, you're missing a component of your happiness. And I think also the call that you have on your life, right?
Absolutely.
So I love that equation. I think all of you listening right now, and I talk about this stuff all the time. That's why I have courses on this, which is get in line with your passion and use this equation. I think that's so awesome. Values, vision, and passion to kind of figure out, are you in alignment with those things? So that's so good. Pure gold. Now, one of the best investments I've made in my business as a female success strategist are my professional photo shoots. I mean, hands down. Robyn, can you explain to the gals, why is this so critical to our success as online entrepreneurs?
Okay, first of all, Stephanie, I have to commend you because your pictures are great. So I don't know your photographer, but whoever it was did a fabulous job with you, because you always look authentic, you look approachable, and your personality comes out through all of the pictures, which is so critical and so key. So the reason I think that having strong visual content is very, very important is because, first of all, it's deliberate differentiation. There are a lot of coaches out there. There are a lot of photographers out there. There are a lot of, fitness instructors out there. Like whatever business you're in, you're probably in, especially if you're an entrepreneur or if you have an online business, you're probably in a pretty highly competitive field, and you need to differentiate yourself. Also, you need to have a way and a means so that your ideal client avatar can get to know you, because people will not buy from you until they know you, like you, and trust you. And it's that whole know, like, and trust test. And you can put content out there, verbal or, text content out there all you want. But the reality is people are going to see you in pictures and get to know you better. 94% of the population responds better, or I should say, social media post content that has pictures, good visual content, gets 94% more engagement. 40% of our population are visual learners. So visual stories are how you're going to connect with them and grow their appreciation and attention. There's the research saying that humans have an attention span less than a goldfish. And I think that number now is down to like 7 seconds. So you can throw a lot of words out there that they have to read, or you can flash a great picture up. Which one is going to get their attention faster and keep them on your page longer and grow more engagement faster? So that's why I think pictures are so, so very important. Not to mention, you also want to show that you care about quality and professionalism, and you can do that in or through pictures.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And thank you so much for that awesome compliments on my photo shoot. I'll give a shout out to Stephanie Stewart Photography. And I think the reason that we really work well together is she knows me so well, Robyn. And that's why you say, when you build this rapport with your clients and you get to know them, you had this like, let's put your toenails on the keyboards and do all these things, because you can almost see who they are as a brand. And then you can kind of step into the vision they have for themselves and take over. So she helps me with that. So thank you first and foremost for that. And then secondly, I totally agree with you. When you say that so often that visual aspect is what catches attention, I know it does for me. You can talk to me all day and I'm like, I'm not even listening, but when you show me a picture, I get it. I totally get it. And I think what's missing for so many of my clients, and I'm sure for yours as well, is they can be the best writer in the world, the best blogger out there. But if they have, the subpar photography or they don't have any type of professional photos at all, it's just not going to resonate with the right audience. And they're going to have this law of the lid over their business. So until they invest in this, that investment pays for itself a trillion times over, in my opinion. So I agree with you on all those points.
Because I think it's, to grow that emotional or create that emotional connection with your audience, you have to stimulate them. And if you think about when you meet someone, and this is another statistic that just blows my mind, that when you meet someone, you have 30 milliseconds, less than 1 second for that person to decide whether or not you are attractive and trustworthy. So
what?
I'm not even kidding you. The book is called Face Value. It's Alex Todorov. He's a Princeton researcher and it blows my mind, but he's proven it. It's statistically true. So if you have pictures that are not, if your face is not well lit, if your eyes don't have a catchlight or, are not like bright and look, to the point where someone's going to be able to connect, because the eyes are so critical for making that human connection. And the smile as well. So if you have pictures where you're underexposed or, the color is off or whatever, you're not going to be able to make that emotional connection.
That is crazy town. Like, we're a bunch of judgy Judies.
Right?
We are. But it makes sense. I mean, I know I do that. Now that you say that, I'm like, my husband always says, he's like, everybody's guilty till they're proven innocent with you. I'm like, But I mean, I guess it's true. I don't know. I have my small circle, but I think it is. You set that almost, initial judgment right then and there when you first meet someone. So exactly why those pictures have to be that good for your website. I mean, that's the first point of contact, or your Instagram feed. Those are when people are first meeting you now, because it's all online,
Exactly. That's your first introduction to your client, is what they see online. And, that's the other thing with pictures on your website. If you have good pictures on your website, people are going to be more apt to stay on your website longer, which is going to help your rankings, right?
That's crazy. I love that. So we've kind of alluded to this one, but I want to go into it further. Explain to us what visual storytelling is and why it's so important.
We did kind of allude to this, but it's really that quick and easy way to tell your story so that people can understand who you are, what you do, how you do it, and how you're going to be able to serve them.
Yeah.
And it really is that quick and easy way to do it, I guess. You can tell a story by writing prose, or you could tell a story through pictures. And I'm not saying you don't need good prose, because you really do. You need good captions on your social media. You need good copy on your website. But the pictures are what are going to really draw someone in. And people are going to be able to tell more about you through your pictures than they are through the prose, because I think your authenticity shows through the pictures more than it does, say, in prose.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. And I think when you pair the two, like if you've got this great caption and you're bringing them in with your vulnerabilities and you're sharing this relatable story and you're just really honest and raw. I always say, like, be honest and raw and vulnerable with your audience, because wherever you were, that's where they are now. And when you pair that with this great clear photo that allows them to trust you and really see you in your best vibrancy, that's what's going to get them coming back for more. And it sets you apart. Like you said, you're not like 90% of the accounts out there. You're a little bit more professional. And come on, like, if we're going to be hiring you as coaches and looking at your blogs and doing all the things that we want to do as female entrepreneurs, having that professional aspect to us, I think, is so critical.
Yeah, 100%. And, you kind of said it, we're judgy Judies, but people want to see what's going on with other people. They want to see, what's their sense of style? What do they look like? What color are their eyes? What hairstyle do they wear? What do they look like behind the scenes? Like, are they really always snazzed up, or do they have a messy bun and sweatpants on? It's people really want to know like who you are. And it's not just being nosy Nelly. They really want to know who you are and get to know you before they're going to commit to working with you.
Basically, ladies, we've got Judgy Judy and Nosy Nelly over here. Okay. So you better get it together.
Oh, shoot.
I love it. So that's so good. Now, a lot of my clients have never had a professional photo shoot, or maybe they did one and they didn't absolutely love themselves in it. So let's talk about that. What tips do you have when it comes to very first photo shoot for your brand?
So I would refer everyone to my website, which is www.robyngrahamphotography.com. And my name is Robyn with a Y. So that is, when you use that, it makes it a little easier to find me. But I have a great tip sheet on my website that I refer all my clients to as well. In addition to talking to them and talking it through all of these details with them. But there are a lot of things to think about. So you've got to think about your wardrobe, your hair, makeup, location, props, and a shot list, basically. So for any type of professional photo shoot, headshot or personal branding, I suggest having at a minimum a makeup artist. A lot of people are very particular about their hair, especially if they have naturally curly hair and things like that. So people like to style it themselves, which I totally get and I am totally fine with. But makeup, I think, is very important. You don't want to lather yourself up with a ton of makeup, but you want a sun-kissed look. You want to look authentic. So you don't want to put so much makeup on that you don't look real. You want to look natural and your authentic self, but makeup will help cover temporary blemishes. A good makeup artist will, do contouring. And this is a great example. I had a headshot client in last week and she genetically has bags under her eyes, and it's nothing there's nothing she can do about it. But when the makeup artist put her makeup on, and when I did her headshots, you cannot even see these bags. So this is a great, I guess, testimonial that the makeup artist is a great help for covering up temporary blemishes or permanent blemishes like bags under the eyes, and then good lighting. And this is why you want, at a minimum, a professional headshot if you can't afford an entire personal branding shoot up front, because the lighting is so critical in making a difference for things like the dark circles and the bags under the eyes. So makeup's very, very important. The location. If you are working from home versus in an office, you may not want to do the shoot in your home office, or you may want people to see where you work, but you could do. And this is what I usually do for my branding clients. We do some in-studio work because I have a really great studio with a lot of different backdrop options, windows and doorways and really cool things like that, as well as for that, like a headshot we'll do in front of just like a white backdrop or a backdrop that matches their branding colors. And then outdoors, there's nothing wrong with doing a shoot outdoors, especially if you work from home, because I think it just shows that you are approachable, and you're comfortable in different environments. Maybe you are a nature lover, and then definitely do some shots outside. But you can find a ton of different backdrops that would be appropriate for just about any type of a photo shoot. And if the photographer uses a shallow depth of field, you can blur out the background and things like that. So you want the focus to be on you, not the background. So keep that in mind when you're choosing locations. But it's great to show you, I guess, in a more organic environment too, not just in an office setting. Coffee shops are a great place to have shots taken. I think a lot of us who are entrepreneurs, we tend to have meetings in coffee shops once in a while, or that's where we do our networking or our, 15, 30-minute get to know you meeting. So I think that always lends to a great backdrop as well. Props, if you are depending on what you do, most of us have a computer that we're using all of the time. Having your computer, your phone, things like that, your planners, things like that in the pictures, I think are great. Succulents. You see so many pictures of computers and succulents these days.
Yes.
They're like the hottest thing. I don't know why, but mine never live. So I'm constantly going to Trader Joe's to get a new one. So things like that. Like I had a client a few months ago who she had a coffee mug in her brand colors and she had a scarf in her brand colors. And then we complemented her wardrobe with, those as well. And so that worked out great because we had, we were able to use those props that really tied in her brand colors. So that's something to think of as well. And then your shot list, I like to think of it this way. So if you take a look at Instagram, you typically see 9 squares, right? So think about telling your story in those 9 squares. So where you work, what you do, how you do it, you doing what you do, those kind of things to kind of tell your story. Maybe you like to travel. So you could have a fun personal branding shot that incorporates your love for travel. If you love coffee, have your coffee mug. But, different things like that really kind of tell your story so that your audience can get to know you through those 9 pictures. And then, just update your grid, plan your grid out so that you have those 9 themes, I guess you could say, that tell your story. So as you're doing your shot list, think about how you want to tell your story so that people can get to know you.
Those are so good. I love that. I was like taking some notes over here and then I went to my Instagram and I'm looking at my grid. I'm like, am I doing all these things? So good, Robyn. And you guys, testament to the makeup artist. Like I can't stand fake eyelashes. I'm like that chick that's like blinking. I'm complaining. You know me, like I don't like to wear makeup, but every time they're like, just be quiet and let me do it. Every time it's worth it because I feel like I have too much makeup on, but in the photos, it doesn't come across that way because of the lighting. So just trust your photographer, get the makeup artist. Okay. Let him put on the annoying lashes because it makes all the difference. And I love your tips too, Robyn, on having the shot list. That's been key for me because when I'm going to create content and I'm thinking about, okay, today I'm going to post about being a mom, crazy mom life. I want to make sure I had the photo of me doing dishes with my kid hanging on my leg. Or so try to think about, like Robyn mentioned, you guys, what are the things you want to post about or the categories that you often create posts about, and make sure you have a lot of photos in those different categories. And the other thing too that I love about having a photo shoot, I can just pick a photo and I can look at the photo and say, what do I want to say? I don't have to have, the caption first. I actually use the photo first in many cases. And then I create my caption just based on that photo. So I love all those tips, Robyn. Thank you so much. I think all of you guys are going to be able to have a great first photo shoot based on that.
Stephanie, one thing I forgot to mention too, and I'll just throw this out there real quick, is that as far as wardrobe goes, maybe you're only going to be able to afford one shoot because it is an investment. It's going to cost you somewhere between, $1,500 to $2,000 or more dollars, depending on where you live and who the photographer is. So think about longevity. I would plan for, like maybe one post a week using a professional picture, and then you can incorporate through, what you're using your cell phone photos or stock photos or whatever. But at a minimum, you want to try to at least represent yourself professionally or through a professional photograph once a week minimum. So think about your wardrobe and don't just wear like all sleeveless clothes. Wear, maybe a long sleeved top or blouse or a blazer or things like that so that you can cross seasons. You don't want to have, all summer clothes for your shoot because then you're limited to how long you can use those pictures. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. And I am obsessed with that tip. I'm that chick that when I do a photo shoot, my main goal is variety. And so I go in and I've got like sometimes 10 or 15 outfits and that poor photographer, but I'm like, I have to have the most variety. I would rather have 1 or 2 photos per outfit than a lot of background changes. And so yes. Or bring the layers. I'll throw on a blazer on top of an outfit we just took a picture of in a sleeveless, for example, or put my hair up in the same shirt just to change it up. So thank you. Bonus
and then for makeup, if you don't have a photographer who has a makeup artist or you don't know a makeup artist, the one thing I'm going to tell you is that you want to use makeup that has no SPF. So you don't, because the SPF in the makeup products will actually cause glare. So you want to be conscious of that. if you, for some reason are not working with a professional makeup artist.
Perfect. Y'all gonna be set up for success right now. So good. So now we have this photo shoot. We know all the ways of prep now, and the ladies are ready to go out and get those done. How do we take this investment that we've just made in ourselves? And P.S., ladies, it's a tax write-off. So like, give me a break. Got to do it. Okay. Got to do it. It's for your business. So how do we take this awesome professional photo shoot we've just done and now use it for brand growth and storytelling? I know we've touched on it a bit, but is there anything else you can add here for us?
Well, I think your end goal is to develop an emotional connection with your audience. So you want your ideal customer avatar to get to know you, like you, and trust you. So you want to use those pictures first and foremost on your website, and second on your social media platforms. And like I said, with the your Instagram grid, that's, to me, I love Instagram. And I think it's because it is such a picture platform. And it makes it easy for you to tell your story if you select your pictures and use them, like you said, Stephanie, to, look at the picture and then create your content around the picture. You can easily come up with a caption when you have a great picture. But keep in mind that you want to show your audience that you are friendly and approachable, and using those pictures to keep them on your website longer so they can really get a sense of who you are and the kind of person you are, so that they'll want to work with you. And then the same on your social media platforms.
Yeah. Thank you. I love those tips, and y'all are ready to get out there and get it. So I have one last question for you, Robyn. It's a little bit of a different question away from the photography, but I know that inspiration is so huge for you, and you have this incredibly positive mindset. What inspires you, and where does that inspiration lead you?
I guess I would say, seeing women come out of their shell and smile and grow confident in front of my camera, it totally inspires me, because I feel like I'm watching their transformation right in front of my very eyes. 99% of women that come into my studio, and you'd be surprised, men say this as well. They'll walk in, I'm not photogenic. I take awful pictures. Their hands are raised like they're completely defensive about this. And I'm like, relax. I've got your back. You're not going to walk out of here without good pictures. As I'm working with them and they begin to relax, I watch their confidence come out, and I watch their personality come out. And, to be able to draw that out of them just warms my heart. Like, I love it. I love it. But to help women feel beautiful and confident inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing, because if I can make that little bit of a difference and really give them a light within their heart, it inspires me to just keep going and keep working on the back end to grow my business and continue to help other women. And then, of course, I have a daughter, and I have to tell you that she's 11, but every single day she inspires me to be more authentic, or, to be authentic and to push myself to a new level so that I can show her what's capable and the joy that you can get when serving other people.
That is so amazing, Robyn. My gosh. I mean, what you're doing for people, helping them realize their confidence and the way that it inspires you and lights you up, I think that is such a godsend, and just so thankful for you, and thankful that you are making this impact out there on the world. And of course, heck yes, to being that role model for your daughter and all the littles out there that are watching us every day, right?
Right, exactly.
Thank you for being a guest. I just want you to know you're a world changer. You're a blessing to so many. Keep inspiring us. Keep doing what you're doing, because it's working. And I know these bosses are going to want to learn a bit more about you, and of course, how they can get you as their personal brandographer. I know I need to get my hands on that. So share with us how they can find you.
So my website is www.robyngrahamphotography.com. You can find me on Instagram at Robyn Graham Photography. And again, it's Robyn with a Y. Facebook is the same. And Twitter, my handle is R Graham Photos. Robyn Graham Photography was already taken.
Rude.
How dare they? So yeah, those are great ways to find me. I love Instagram followers, trying to grow that silly account. And I do want to tell everyone, if you do go to my website, I have an opt-in right now where you can, it's called Robyn's 15 and 15 Pictures and Prompts Challenge. So I'm giving away 15 stock photos, and there are prompts to go with each photo to make your social media posting a little bit easier. You should be able to post, in way less than 15 minutes a day for 15 days, where I think the messages come 3 times a week for 5 weeks. So it gives you a great way to make a connection with your audience, using the pictures and talking about your brand. And there's prompts for each one. So that's kind of fun. And then stay tuned for, if you follow me on social media, stay tuned for 2019. It's going to be a big year. I'm working on an online course for personal branding. So I'm really excited to get that out into the hands of women and even men, but especially women, to, help them define their brand, grow their brand, and really rock their business.
Awesome. We all got to get that. 15 prompts. That sounds amazing. Any help we can get with posting on social media, and then heck yes to branding courses, all about it.
Stephanie, the one thing that I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about pictures, I hope it's okay if I talk for one more second. Hard to get me to be quiet. Anyway, I was going to mention, stock photos are amazing. And I did mention them earlier, but if you think about it, and this is one of the biggest reasons why you want to have your own pictures, is because everybody else is using those stock photos as well. And so if everybody else is using them, you can't use them to differentiate yourself. So keep that in mind.
Yes, absolutely. Stock photos are awesome, but like you said, you need to have some of yourself as well on a whole nother level, because it just brings in that authenticity, I think. Sets you apart.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Robyn, for being a guest. I had a blast with you.
Thank you.
So much fun, and we learned so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am so happy to be here.
All right, bosses, that wraps up our awesome episode with Robyn. I hope you learned as much as I did about visual storytelling and brandography. So excited to have my next photo shoot. I don't know about y'all, but before we go, I wanted to remind you to head over to iTunes, leave a review for the show. That's what helps us get higher visibility for other mamas that need our help and need these resources. I truly appreciate you taking 2 minutes of your time and doing that for me. You rock. And I want to leave you with an abundance prayer. As always, I pray over you listening that you find the clarity and the direction that you need this year to claim your destiny. I pray that you are led to the mentors you seek. I pray that you have unlimited time to accomplish all the things you need to accomplish in your day, in your life, in your business. And I pray that you have the confidence to rock your brand and to step into whatever calling that you see fit for your life. And I pray that you take the steps you need to jump out and conquer your fears and to surprise yourself. As always, love and light, Stef. Hey mama, real quick before you go, if you found value in today's podcast and you learned something new, if you'll head over to iTunes, the Mompreneur Mastermind Show, and leave a review and subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. And I'd love to connect with you over on social media. My handle is @StephanieGass. I'll see you soon. Praying light, love, and abundance. Until next time.